These go to 11.
What goes to 11?
Those would be the speakers.
Oh.
This is Spinal Tap. How did you miss a Spinal Tap reference?
I totally.
How on earth I
Yeah.
threw you a beach ball?
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake roll. Who did he see when he...
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Lager Room. It is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, happy Mickey Mouse Day, people.
Happy Mickey Mouse Day. Some people consider it Mickey Mouse's birthday, and some just consider it Mickey Mouse Day. So.
Oh, it was the day that he, because you never know if Walt had a different birthday for him. Was the day he first drew him, but the 1928 Steamboat Willie first appeared on this date, so hence my Steamboat Willie ears.
Very nice, very nice.
This.
November 18th, 1928, Steamboat Willie first appeared in theaters. And
yeah, Brian Altschul was only, 5 at the time?
Brian was 5 at the time, I believe, yes. Brian was 5, yeah. Guys, if you're not aware, too, Dave, I think you are aware, the year before was when Walt Disney first drew Mickey Mouse, but he actually drew Mickey Mouse as a rabbit and named him Oswald.
Oswald.
So, I mean, that's kind
Did he have the patent on that?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
I'm sorry about that.
All right. So, why did you take off your Steamboat Willie hat?
Oh, because I've messed up my hair.
Oh, that's right. Got it.
You're the hat guy. I don't want to steal your thunder.
You got it. No worries. Today is also National Vichyssoise Day.
Yes, cold potato soup.
Cold potato leek soup. Yep.
Sounds appetizing.
Sounds delicious. What style of beer would go with Vichyssoise? What do you think?
Vichyssoise, what would that go with? I imagine it would go with a saison, right? Stay in country.
Yeah, why not? It would have to be a pretty beefy saison to get cut through. I mean, all that hearty potato and all those flavors coming out of the onion and leek. I don't want to get into a food pairing.
Yeah, but does it have enough acidity to it to cut through the richness of the soup?
I was thinking more like a porter.
I don't know if it's got the acidity.
A light porter.
How about not a Baltic porter?
No, not a Baltic porter. Not a Baltic porter. And speaking of porters and Baltic porters and imperial porters, we'll get back to them later in the show. But I think we're going to kick off the show with IPAs. Is that right? An IPA and a sour, I believe.
Yeah, you're going IPA.
I'm going IPA. So should I kick
it
off?
What IPA are you drinking?
What IPA am I drinking? Let's see. What IPA should I drink? Well, I suppose I'll be drinking that.
Cane
Sabro.
Sabro. Well, explain Sabro to us.
Sabro is a hop.
And this hop is from where?
Hold on a second. I'm opening the can.
Why open it? You didn't know there was going to be a quiz?
I didn't know there was going to be a quiz.
As you're aware, where the hop is from is going to dictate what flavor it throws.
Of course. I'm going to pour while you chat.
So I'm trying to. So you get the terroir of the hop from where it's grown. Like you get the Pacific Northwest is where we get the pine, the citrus from. So you could take what Fuggles grow it out there. It's going to throw some pine and citrus. It's not going to taste like Fuggles from England.
Of course, because you're getting it out of the soil too, not just
coming out of the soil. So, and you grow them in Jersey, and it tastes like Elizabeth.
No. It tastes like pork roll. Come on,
the town. It tastes like pork roll. Oh, if only it tasted like Taylor ham. You're going to get us in trouble. You got to play both sides of that argument.
I know. I'll go pork roll. You go Taylor ham. Which is odd because you were born in South Jersey and I was born in North Jersey. So.
Right. Well, no. I was born in Central Jersey, which is South Jersey to you, North
Jersey. Seriously, is there a Central Jersey?
This is how, and actually, Jon Stewart actually judged that there is a Central Jersey, and there's two ways that you know that you're from Central Jersey.
What's that?
Everyone from North Jersey says you're from South Jersey. Everyone from South Jersey says you're from North Jersey. Right. And growing up, you got both New York and Pennsylvania and Philadelphia stations.
True. This is true. Although I am more in South Jersey than I am in Central Jersey right now, since I'm almost just north of Ocean County, and I don't get any Philly stations.
No, Ocean County is Central Jersey still. I think the Department of Fish and Wildlife for the hunting regions delineate it as
As
the
Dave
Raritan
talks about
River,
that time.
the Raritan River, and the and Route 70.
Raritan River and wait a minute, we got 2 comments here. They got to be about South and Central and North Jersey. Let's see. No, we just got a cheers from Gene Lynch,
Hey, cheers, Gene.
and we got a salt pepper ketchup from Becky May.
Yes. You didn't say that fast enough, John. Remember,
Salt
it's
pepper
one
ketchup.
word. One
Salt
word.
pepper ketchup. SPK to those in the know.
No one says SP. Who says SPK?
That was joking. That was a joke. All right,
Drink your beer.
I'm going to drink my beer.
Drink your beer. Did you pour it right this time?
I poured it perfect.
Nice, beautiful. That's a
Very
beautiful
nice.
pour.
It is a beautiful pour, not a Liz pour, as some people say.
No, in your beautiful King IPA glass.
No, it's my Source IPA glass,
Your
actually.
Source IPA
Yes,
glass.
my Cane IPA glass was dirty.
You crossed the streams.
Yeah, I did. I figured I'd get Source in here somehow, if not the beer, the glassware. But anyway, Cane Sabro. It's a single hop IPA. I'll get back to that. It's a single hop IPA. It's a series they do. They just use one hop. A lot of breweries are doing them now. Single hop. It's not a blend, and they come up with their flavor profiles from blending several different hops together. They're using one single hop and just taking the hop profiles from each of those when they do the beers. This one they use Sabro. Obviously, they named it what they used. It's a 7.7% IPA. Which falls into an odd area. Is this 7.7 a double, or is it a a single? There's such a thing as a single, just a regular IPA, or does it leach into the double range, or what? I don't know.
That's on the border there.
You debate while I take a sip here.
But you just as usual, you just edged me out on ABV.
As usual.
As usual.
This is nice.
What tasting notes are you getting out of that?
All right. The nose, there's definitely a nice amount of coconut in the nose.
A nice what on the nose?
There's coconut in the nose.
Coconut in the nose.
It's actually hold on. I was blending them with my taste. It's slighter than. I can get it in the nose. It's not an abundant amount, but it's nice. A little bit of hops. Big coconut in the flavor.
Really? So we've got hops that throw coconut, or
Sabro throws a big amount of coconut.
Nice. Gonna have to look for that one.
I will actually check on that while you're pouring your beer. So,
okay. So since
this
you are,
nice. It's just to round it up, it's just a little slight bitterness. Nice. There's flake oats in this. It's not as pillowy as a super hazy, but there is haze to it. It's nice and soft.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty tasty.
Cheers.
Cheers. Nice beer. I'm going to enjoy that while you pour yours.
So since you've already represented for Source, and I have a tendency to represent for Smug, I'm going to go full-on representation with the shirt even.
Very nice.
Smug re-released Traderade today.
Did they?
Yes. Now,
very nice. Why don't you explain before you pour it, why don't you explain what Traderade is for those not in the know?
So Rob at Smug is a clever little bugger, and it wasn't when he may have came up with the idea when Brady retired and then subsequently signed with the Buccaneers, hence the logo.
Right.
But it was released right after Gronk signed with the Buccaneers as well, coming out of retirement himself. And so Traderade was born. And I remember the first day that they were selling it, showed up and they had a nice large cardboard cutout of Gronk sitting there. It was quite humorous. But what they did, since it's down in Tampa, they're both down in Tampa, he made a key lime sour.
Key lime sour.
And it tastes and smells as you would guess.
So key lime for Florida, or Tampa, if you will, and Traderade and sour. Traderade for Brady and Gronk, and sour for the
sour
feelings.
Grapes that the Patriots fans feel for losing their two of their three most endeared players.
What a well thought out beer.
Mm-hmm. But also a well thought out marketing campaign.
Well, I meant all around, of course.
The the local stations got a hold of it. This is why he's had to brew it a third time.
Mm-hmm.
As you can tell, he has marketed this thing. I've got the shirt. There's hats. There's decals.
He didn't get any flack from the Buccaneers with that logo. I know it's not the pirate inside, but it's everything else. So.
That would be the rooster. That would be their logo,
Right.
the rooster. Smug, cocky, get it. Not everyone gets that. But so he's really done a great job of marketing it and getting it out there. And so, this is maybe a call out to Pete, man. Let's market that elite beer, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be nice.
Let's get some swag on that.
Get
Some
swag
hats,
going
some
there.
shirts, some buttons.
I think that's a good idea. We might have to reach out to him. Pete, Jeremy, any of you, if you're listening, get marketing.
Take some notes from Rob up here.
I mean, not that they're not marketing very well, and they're selling the beer very well.
Like they need to market. How quickly does their stuff sell out?
Oh, it's sold out in usually 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like I said,
So
smells
give us
taste
the notes.
as you would. It tastes like a Cane Light sour, John.
Mm-hmm. Not much you need to explain.
Not much you need to explain there. It's even got a little bit of creaminess within it, which good stand-in for the meringue. But yeah, Davey likes.
Very good, very good. Just to get back to a couple of comments, Gene Lynch said SPK all day, and he said at my, and then he continued SPK all day at my local bagel shop. And he threw a little bagel emoji in there too. That was very nice.
Oh, see, so you can get emojis in there, just not GIFs.
And then Radio Pete from our sports podcast said possible sponsor, maybe.
Which one?
Any of them. I'll take them all. We'll work on that, Pete. Let's get together and folks. The Pete will be available on our sports podcast at 7:00 tonight. So
and maybe you, Pete, and Harry Lugness can all talk about the Bucks record versus the Patriots record this year.
Yeah, we could probably do that. It's not going to be a long conversation, but we could definitely work on that. So
and the Bucks would have a much better record if they didn't have to play New Orleans twice.
This is true. Well, since they already did. And, some other news going on. We'll leave the sports to the sports.
Yeah.
What did you say about you got like some comments on?
Oh, yeah. So we do have one listener who doesn't like it when we go into sports. Hi, Susie.
Sorry, Susie.
So we'll move on to what were we talking about? Beer.
Well, if you want to hear any of the sports talk, tune back in at 7:00. Don't tune out now. Stay on. But when we sign off, tune back in at 7:00.
Yeah, we may not be more interesting, but we're better looking.
Well, I'm on both, so I don't know how that works.
Extrapolate.
All right, we'll figure that one out. All right, well, let's. Why don't we? You want to jump into some news?
Okay.
Why don't we jump into some news? Let's hear what you have going on up in the island of Rhode.
So up here now, there's a brewery. Was in Cranston. Favorite place of Johnny's, actually, right?
That would be correct, yeah.
What? I just blanked on the name.
Revival.
Wow. What is in this stuff? So Revival Brewing closed their doors in Cranston. The Cranston location was a very interesting location. They had televisions. A couple times I've been in there. It was Lord of the Rings playing all the time. Obviously, there's somebody there who is really into Dungeons and Dragons, if you go by the name of the beers.
Right.
Great food, but due to COVID, the doors wound up getting shut.
Okay.
But from what I understand, they had always planned to move anyway.
Which sucks, by the way. Wasn't a passing okay. So,
well, they've moved into an area of Providence that is being gentrified as we speak. It's the Sims Avenue area.
Is it still in Cranston, or is that?
No, this is Providence.
This is Providence. Okay.
This is Providence. This is in the western side of Providence. Mm-hmm. So the western side of Providence is the other side of 95.
Right.
And they've got some interesting things down there. Farm Fresh Rhode Island has moved there. So Farm Fresh Rhode Island runs the farmers market, which used to be in my building. Mm-hmm. That's moved now. So now I've got to drive 8 minutes for Fend.
That sucks for you.
It sucks for me.
8 whole
And
minutes? Are you kidding me? Oh,
and what's even
horrible.
worse is it's going to be right next to a brewery. Well, that's awful. And then
Terrible.
right across the street is ISCO, Industrious Spirits Company. I had guessed International Steel Company named after, because it's in an old steel yard, but it's Industrious Spirit Company, and they're a distillery. So there's a distillery there, a brewery there. You just need a meadery, a cidery, and a winery,
That would be
and
great. Yeah.
that'd be awesome. I'd throw a tent down and just stay there.
Oh, I would just immediately find an apartment nearby and just move right in. So.
Oh no, they've got a couple of mills that have been converted to apartments, so you don't even have to worry about nearby. They're next door.
Done.
And there's a greenway there right along a river that I can't friggin' pronounce, like most of the names up here. And it's not even one of those things where I'm mispronouncing it because I don't have the accent. It's some sort of
something Autuck.
I think it's something like it's not Moosaquanic, but something along those lines.
Quanic or Autuck or something like that.
Yeah, it's Quanic, Set, Nuck. Yeah,
One of those.
All those suffixes on the
those
native names up here.
There you go. Eventually, you'll get them. I mean, you're only up there a little over a year now, right?
So from what I understand, they probably won't be opening the tasting room until January.
Okay.
They are doing can sales at the moment, and they had an easy up set up next to the market.
Nice.
So it was.
So the beer's flowing already in the form of cans, obviously, but they're brewing.
Yeah, and there's there might be hints of them possibly ad hoc opening the tasting room every now and then.
Nice.
On weekends. If you've got a lot of people coming to the farmers market right there, why not take advantage of it? And you know what, get it in now before the state shuts down again.
Yeah, just in case. Well, speaking of that brings us to something else I wanted to talk about. We were hold on. There we go. There's your name. Woonasquatucket.
Oh, so it's one of the Tuckets.
Woonasquatucket. Am I saying that right?
No, you're not. I've heard her say it.
Woonasquatucket.
I think it's Woonasquatucket.
Woonasquatucket.
Woonasquatucket or something like that. Yeah. You just got to run it all together and mispronounce some of the vowels.
Some guy, Brian, said easy for you to say, Becky. Becky didn't say it, Brian. I did.
Well, it's easier for her to say, but
that's true. Yeah.
Woonasquatucket or something like that. Well,
Woonasquatucket. I'm going to go with Woonasquatucket.
No, I think you got to run a couple of syllables together. Like I said, run the syllables together.
I was saying too fast because suck it might wind up in there, and I don't want to do that. So.
And mispronounce some of the vowels, and I think you've got it right.
And you got it right. There you go. Anyway, like I was saying, as far as restrictions go and shutdowns and so forth and so on, yeah, it's coming back around again. There's a lot of shutdowns. Jersey went back to, they had opened up inside to 25% capacity. They haven't pulled that back yet, but they did announce last week, I believe it was, no more bar service. So if you're in, not that you can't drink, but you have to be seated at a table. You can't no more seated at the bar anymore. At the moment anyway, for now. And here's the thing though, Philly just passed, and I believe it was just Philly proper. Anybody knows differently, please comment in and let us know. But from what I read, it was just Philly proper. They banned all indoor dining. They pulled it back starting Friday, and that goes all the way to January 1st minimum. Banned all indoor dining. And then outdoor gatherings are very super limited too, which we need to check into, because I know the Goose Island brewery, the version of it anyway, in Philly, was doing a tasting, or we're doing selling tickets to an outdoor event focused around the Bourbon Counties release. And there's a lot of variants this year. And I don't know how that's going to affect it. And it probably will, because it was supposed to be next week or the week after. So, and I know they really tightened the restrictions even on outdoor dining in Philly. So I don't know how that's going to affect it. It's got to affect it somehow.
That tasting room's right by the Fillmore, isn't it?
It's right. It's across the street. So, but
I've been there. I've been there after seeing the show. Yeah.
So, but in any event, so anybody out there, they're really clamping down again. So, I mean, 3 words, folks. 3 words. We keep saying it. We said it before. We'll say it again.
Wear
your mask. I said your. He said the. Still 3 words. Either way.
Still 3 words.
Right. Wear the mask, folks.
It's usually in 4 words. Wear the damn mask.
Wear the damn mask. I was being nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, folks, just wear the mask. Just wear the mask. I know it's inconvenient, but so's getting sick and having to stay home for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
You know, or possibly infecting somebody that is going to be held up longer. So just wear the mask.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that you're young and you'll get over it quickly. You can give
Yeah.
it to somebody who can give it to somebody who give it to somebody. And do you want to be the person that kills Betty White?
No.
No, don't be that person.
And moving on to one other thing too, Torch and Crown opened the first production brewery in Manhattan in decades. They opened in Soho, 9,000 square foot facility. They opened in Soho, a brewery and a tap room. Torch and Crown opened in Soho. So it's the first production brewery in Manhattan in decades. So I guess
That's been wow.
Yeah, so I guess they're competing, you know, trying to get Manhattan up on the block with the other boroughs.
That's got to be some serious rent.
Yeah, 9,000 square feet in Soho.
Yeah.
Folks, you know, hey, and they're opening in the middle of all of this, you know. So, yeah, go patronize them. I wish them luck. You know, Brooklyn and Queens still have a pretty strong hold on the brewery scene in the 5 boroughs, but
Good luck, boys.
yeah. And when you know what, as soon as things are a little bit calmer, I will definitely be by.
Yeah.
And maybe if Dave's down, he'll be with me. But either way, good luck. Seriously. All right. That brings us.
Brewery in Manhattan. Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And speaking of that brewery news and
Warning segue.
segue. Speaking of that brewery news and hold on, we got another comment here. It's just Brian checking in. Hey dudes, what's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
Cheers. So anyway, back to where I was going. Like you said, segue. Speaking of the Torch and Crown, and also speaking of Revival's new place in the beer news segment, we don't have any new breweries to report other than what we just said in the ones we just said. But the one thing I did want to bring up, I did a little checking.
Checking of what?
On new breweries in New Jersey. Right now, there's about 123 breweries in New Jersey, and there's about 20 still slated on the block to open. They're still in the forming, all different steps. You know, they're waiting on their approvals, or waiting on their space, or waiting on equipment, or whatever. But in any different stages of development, there's about 20 that are available. So it prompted me to look. Like I said, 123 in Jersey. Rhode Island right now has about 32 breweries. Is that correct?
No, 22.
22?
22, soon to be 23.
I thought I saw 32 when I checked.
I believe that is very well overstated. I mean, if you include Narragansett, it's 23, but Narragansett's not brewed in Rhode Island anymore.
I believe didn't they open up a new brewery in Rhode Island? I thought they did.
They are
back to Pawtucket, didn't they?
There's supposed to be one in Pawtucket right across from the Guild.
Right.
I just said Pawtucket. Pawtucket. But they
said it 'cause
are
I
supposed
said
to be.
It's my fault.
Yeah, they are. They're opening. There's plans for them to open a beer garden down by India Point Park, which is not right at the end of Wickenden.
Right.
And it's in the works. I think the tanks are up even. So hopefully they'll be brewing in Rhode Island again. I almost picked up a beer of theirs today. They've got a lobster flavored beer.
A lobster flavored beer.
And they have a coffee milk beer.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. So I almost picked up the coffee milk beer. I think I'm going to have to screw up my bravery and pick that thing up and see what that tastes like.
Very interesting.
But continue with your thought. I've got to run because my next beer is actually a bottle, and guess what I forgot to bring?
You forgot to bring a glass for it.
No.
Or an opener. Here, wait.
A bottle opener.
Here. Take mine.
Oh, gee, thanks. That's not going to work. Be right back. So continue with what you're talking about.
All right. Well, I'll just discuss. I went in and I checked. I thought it was 32 breweries in Rhode Island, but we'll have to double check that and get back to you. But I'm pretty sure I noticed 32. Connecticut was 62 when I checked, and that's pretty damn good for both of those states. I mean, you know, any amount of breweries are great, and it's only going to get bigger. The amount of breweries in each state. I'm not sure what's slated on the block to open in Rhode Island or Connecticut for that matter, but I did check just the other state in between me and Dave other than Connecticut. I checked New York, and New York, while New York is, you know, markedly bigger than New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Connecticut put together. There are over 320 breweries in New York. So,
Wow.
yeah. So it's a beautiful thing. As this industry grows, it just gets better and better, much more fun. So
Taking more and more segment from the big boys.
absolutely. So, well, if you got your can opener, or I'm sorry, bottle opener,
Bottle opener. This is
Bottle
one of the
opener.
best bottle openers in the world.
look at that thing.
It came with a beer of the month club, one of those beer clubs.
Is that
And
right?
the beers that came were okay. This was the best thing from it was this, because what I love about it is if you collect bottle caps, which I don't,
Right.
it actually takes them off cleanly, no dent, nothing.
Mm. I actually had one like that. It wasn't anything like that. It was actually a push thing. You put it over the bottle, you push down and pulled up, and it pulled the cap right off cleanly. Didn't even dent it.
No, this leaves no mark on it. So should I go into my second beer here?
Go for your second beer.
So now Johnny decided we were going to do what you call mid-fall beers.
Yeah, why not? Let's call it a mid-fall beer.
Mid-fall beers.
It's not
Or
by any means a
preparations.
style. It's
Preparations for the holidays beer,
that'll
winter
work.
beers. And there was
pre-winter beer.
there was
Mid-fall, pre-winter, prep for holiday, whatever you want to call them, any of those.
so there was a particular beer I was looking for, and I failed. So maybe I'll get it.
Tisk.
Test. Hopefully I'll get it soon. But
The beer you got is actually a really good one. So I mean, there's no
yeah.
there's no slouch there.
So down at Men in Wine and Spirits, I did come across this.
That's a beautiful thing.
That is Jack Abbey's Framingham gingerbread beer. And Framingham is a porter, is it not?
It is a Baltic porter.
It's a Baltic porter. This thing comes in at 12%.
Nice.
So, and I'm actually going to pour it into a taster so we can see the color of it because I've got another vessel to pour it into. And if it's something gingerbread, it pours it's got some darkness to it. It appears darker on the screen than it really is. It's actually more of a dark brown than it is the jet black it looks on the screen here.
Nice.
Wow. So the nose feel is there's some ginger to it. Booze and cola. So
Very nice.
the gingerbread comes through strong.
I could imagine.
The
Is that
flavor-
barrel aged?
It is barrel aged.
It is
So
barrel aged, right?
it's bourbon barrel aged. So, wow. Yeah, I think I'm going to start eating gingerbread cookies with bourbon because that actually works.
That
But
flavor works nice, huh?
I'm going to pour the rest of the bottle into one of my favorite drinking glasses.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
It's earthenware, but you can't see through it. I refer to this as my "it comes in pints" glass because in my hand, this 1 liter earthenware mug looks a lot like a pint glass in the Prancing Pony in the Hobbit's hands, right?
Nice. Yes, it does.
Yes. Nerd alert.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, that I'm gonna sleep well tonight because this has got a boozy kick to it. It's probably not from the ABV, but more so the bourbon barrel aging.
Gotcha.
You can taste the bourbon come through, but the gingerbread doesn't overwhelm it. The ginger doesn't overwhelm it.
Sure.
The cola that was coming out of the nose is probably, that molasses feel you get from gingerbread.
Sure.
I'm gonna need to get another bottle of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to look and get myself a bottle or two of that as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this better or the s'mores. The only problem with the s'mores one is that it's just a bit sweeter. Just a
All good.
scooch. Just a
All
scooch.
good. So, my beer, I'll be drinking Whole Hog Hazelnut Brownie.
Whole hog. Now you like whole hog's pumpkin, right?
Whole Hog's pumpkin is my favorite pumpkin. It's definitely my
That's your
favorite pumpkin. Yeah, I mean, Pumpkin, Weyerbacher Imperial Pumpkin, they're right there. Second, third. Close second, third, whatever you want to call them. But Whole Hog Pumpkin is my favorite. So, Whole Hog is Stevens Point, Wisconsin, is where Whole Hog is brewed. The Whole Hog Brewery, and this is an Imperial Porter. And it clocks in at about 9.2%. So you got me beat.
Gotcha.
You got me. So let me pour this bad boy.
Because your 7.7 edged my 7% imperial fruited sour. But the Baltic Porter, and this is even strong for a Baltic Porter. Baltic Porters don't always approach the 12% range.
Very nice. And that pours a nice, really nice dark brown, deep brown.
Yeah,
Almost
kind of like
black,
this
but
one.
not quite. Oh, wow. First thing is a huge burst of hazelnut in my nose. It's so wild.
I think John likes the nose feel.
And it's very big malty hazelnut nose. It's really nice. That's huge hazelnut. That's really good beer. It's still a porter. It's sweet. It's not cloying. But it's definitely a really well brewed beer here.
Did you bring this back from one of your road trips?
No. This is I actually got to look into see whether it's a new brew or not because I haven't seen it before. But I was just doing a little pre holiday beer shopping at the local great craft beer area in the Wegmans. That's not too far away from me. With great Wegmans location too because it's literally a block and a half away from Kane. So.
Oh, I know the one. I know the one.
But saw this on an end cap and figured I'd grab a 6 and try it out. But I have never actually heard about this beer before. So
you got 6 of them? So you have more.
I have more. Yes. So don't worry. But this is really it's sweet. I mean, there's definitely chocolate, big hazelnut, big malt. It's a porter. You can tell it's a porter. It's not a dessert beer per se. Other than the slight sweetness and the chocolate and the hazelnuts, it's a little bit of vanilla in there too. You could definitely get the lactose in it.
I should have drank the Protella.
This is really good.
Smug makes a Nutella stout.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about that. You have that. It's again, it's sweet. It's not cloying, but it's big. It's got a nice malty backbone. Like it finishes a little bit warm. But it's definitely hiding the 9.2%. I mean, it's drinking like it's maybe a 6, maybe a 6.5.
So is this 12.
It's amazing how they can hide alcohol with a lot of other.
Actually, it doesn't drink like a 12, but it does drink like an 8 or a 9. But again, that's like I said, that might be the bourbon barrel aging more so than the ABV that's in it.
This is really nice. This is definitely not. It's definitely a porter. It's not. That's not mistaken anywhere. That's not escaping you. But you can get the malts and you can get a little bitterness of the roast too. It's nice. But this will definitely sneak up.
I think this one might sneak up with a baseball bat.
Yeah, really?
By the time I finish it. So while I'm still coherent, you want to move on to the top threes?
Yeah, why don't we move on to the top threes?
So the top three category is something Johnny came up with.
Our 33s. It pays homage to 1933 when Prohibition was repealed, but it's our top threes. You want to do yours first? Do you want me to do mine first?
Well, I'll introduce it because you're the one who came up with the idea. So
go for it.
John has sent me a text saying, hey, for the top 3 in the show this week, I didn't even think you did this on Monday. You must have been thinking it over the weekend. Favorite. Actually, you said top 3 craft beer bars. I kind of tweaked a little bit to favorite. And then the discussion became that is such a broad topic. We narrowed it down to New York City.
And just as an aside there, we will do other cities as well. We'll do
states.
We can't do cities. We'll do states, but
because we'll have to do New Jersey at some point.
Right, of course. So we'll do this week is New York City. Go ahead.
New York City, and we almost had to narrow it down to one borough, but because New York City is rife with fantastic craft beer bars. This one took a lot of thought. I think John had thought it over all weekend because he already had his 3 in his head. So I think he had spent some time picking it before he even asked me. So we have a few. We actually broke it down to a couple of subcategories. You want to do the top 3 first, or go to the subcategories? Let's do the top 3 first.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we do that?
Because the one thing is, we were going to roll out chains.
We're going to rule out chains, and also we brought up the fact that there are a lot of really good craft beer bars that would have made the list at some point
Right.
that have closed.
That have closed.
And not necessarily for COVID, but just have since ceased operations. And a while ago, last year,
They've ceased to
before,
be. They're
exactly.
pushing out the daisies.
Yeah.
They're singing the choir invisible. Don't make me do Monty Python.
I won't. Don't worry.
Anyway, but so I'm going to start off with my pick for a national chain craft beer bar, because they actually exist. There's not a lot of them, but they actually do exist, and I'm not talking BJ's and the other one that's out west. I've got to go with Ginger Man on 36th. When you sit down at Ginger Man and they put you ask for the beer list,
Right.
and they put something that looks like a photo album down in front of you.
Right, of course.
You know you're home. And yeah, Ginger Man can get a little pretentious with the clientele. Mm-hmm. It's a little higher end. You're going to see more suits in Ginger Man than in almost any of the other craft beer bars, except for the ones down near Wall Street, of course.
Right.
Or the Flatiron District. But there's still, you've got your craft beer enthusiasts there. You've got people from all over the place. I sat next to a guy who was actually illustrating a children's book sitting next to me. It was fascinating.
Nice.
But their beer list is extensive.
Mm-hmm.
And man, some of the stuff is actually decadent.
It's ridiculous, the things that they have there. And as a chain, as a nod to them, in other places, one of it depends on how many we did. If we did top 3, it might not make the cut, but it might. I'm not sure. It's like right there on the edge. I'm not even talking about New York, but if we did like Boston, even up there, it's the Boston Ginger Man is amazing up there, and they have 2 floors at that one as well.
Austin
grotto
has
bar downstairs too. So,
and Austin has one there. So
crazy good bar.
Yeah. So if you get a chance, I remember pre-gaming a Rangers game there.
There you go.
Oh, sorry, sports. Sorry, sports.
Well, my nod to chains would be Barcade. How could you not? How could you forget about Barcade?
Get drunk and play video games.
Exactly. I mean, it's a craft beer bar. All but one, the original location, has food, and they have all 80s video games, and every single last one of them that you could think of, every single last one of them only costs $0.25 too. And there's shelves between every video game, so you can put your beer right there while you're playing, and it's perfect. But I'm going to give a nod to the first original location, which is on Union Ave in Williamsburg. Mm-hmm. Amazing place. Was there right after they opened. And wasn't there for the opening, but it was there right after they opened. A great bar, great concept, amazing.
And the one in Jersey City is so much fun.
Oh yeah, I mean there's 3 in the boroughs. There's 3. There's the original one in Williamsburg, and then there's 2 in Manhattan. There's one on St. Mark's and over on 24th in Chelsea. There's the Jersey City one. There's now one in Newark. There's one down in Philly, one up in New Haven.
The one in Newark's by the Rock.
Yep.
I remember going to the Jersey City one dressed like a pirate. That was for an ODub tour that happened to coincide with International Talk Like a Pirate Day. And I walked in with Meathead.
Nice.
And he walks in, he's looking around, and he looks at me and goes, "This place is awesome. It's a shame that you can't play the games."
Right.
And I looked at him, I said, "The bill changer is right over there."
Yeah.
That's the last I saw of him until we left.
There you go.
He played Punch Out the whole time we were there. He was so rusty that Glass Joe beat him with his first quarter.
Great.
That's really rusty.
That's really rusty. Well, anyway, so that's my nod to the chains. As far as the closed bars, check your phone there. Check your phone there, Samurai.
Check my phone. Let's see my phone.
All right. So in any event, as a nod to the closed ones, my nod to the closed bars, I'm going to give a nod to Muggs Ale House. Muggs Ale House in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, also. It's a big place for bars. That's definitely for sure. And there's a hint. There might be another on this list. So, Muggs Ale House was for 27 years, I believe they were open. They closed last June. They were on Bedford in Williamsburg on the corner of 10th.
And we were there.
And you and I were both there on the last day.
And we were with Jim.
We were with Jim. Cheers, Jim. And we had a great time and hung out with Ed for a while and got the lowdown from Ed as to why it was closing. And it's a shame, I mean, hey, you know what? Kudos to him. He didn't have to close. The story behind that is he was done. he had enough.
He went out with his boots on.
That's it. So, but in any event, that was a great beer bar. Great beer bar. I mean, so many pre-games going over to events over at brewery industry events over at Brooklyn Brewing. Pre-gamed over there, sometimes post-gamed there too at Muggs, and a couple of marathons that a certain person ran in the pregame for her running by. That would be Jess. Pregame for her running by.
Hi, Jess.
That's right about mile 12. Was Muggs Ale House, and every time she ran by because of the wave she was in was right around 1 o'clock. Muggs always opened at 10 o'clock on marathon day, so we were 3 hours into drinking beer by the time she ran by. So it was a beautiful time. So.
She needs to run faster.
Absolutely. So, all right. So let's get on to our. Oh, what's your nod to?
My. I had to switch it up because one of the ones that was on my top 3,
right,
I found out has permanently closed, and I don't have the lowdown on it. And considering I think it's recent, it must have been COVID. It was a small bar. It was this horseshoe-shaped bar. Really tight space. There was 2 doors for each side of the horseshoe, apparently. But it was 1 Mile House down on Delaney. My brother would come into New York City, and we would get together. And one time we got together, and we wound up at one bar, and we're going to segue into that bar when we get into our top 3. And it's always a great thing when you're in a craft beer bar, and you're talking to the bartender, and they recommend another craft beer bar.
Absolutely.
So when the bartenders at a craft beer bar say, "This is where I drink," you beat feet to that place. You get there. And so we had gone to 1 Mile House. They had an Allagash takeover, and I immediately regretted drinking as much as I had at the first one because they had it, and this wasn't your typical Allagash takeover. It wasn't triple. It wasn't white. It was. They may have been there. I wouldn't even noticed, but it was all like those small bottles you see on the shelves.
Nice.
They're like not the bigger than 12s, but not the bombers. All their specialties were in there. Some of the cool ships. Oh my God, it was great.
Nice.
But then that's going to segue us into the top 3 because one where we were when the bartender told us to go there. This is my number 3 on the list. Was about 4 or 5 blocks away, maybe 5. It's Fool's Gold out on Houston.
Absolutely, great bar.
And that is it was just it's dark, love it in there. Like I said, we had a great bartender point us in a great direction, but it was a really good place to sit and drink a beer.
Fool's Gold is a really good bar, and it's a sister bar with Alewife and the Jeffrey.
And the Jeffrey.
Yeah. That was so that's one of your 3. What's your other 2?
Number 2 has a similar story to 1 Mile House. I was in Pony Bar, my first time in Pony Bar.
Okay.
And since it was a weekday, it was kind of early. I was one of maybe 3 clients in there, and I'm sitting at the bar, and the other 2 were sitting at a table.
Is this the original Pony Bar? That's not
the original Pony Bar up north of Hell's Kitchen. Yeah. The north end, and again got into a conversation with the bartender, and once realized that I like craft beer, I know something about craft beer.
Sure.
He said, "Well, when I'm done here, I go drink it as is." As is, and you think I would have looked up where it was for you. I looked up where everything.
It's a few blocks east and a few blocks north, right?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, when I told you that the other one that I was looking at was a couple blocks south and a couple blocks east of McSorley's, it actually is on the same street as McSorley's, or was. Jimmy's 43.
Jimmy's 43, and I want to give Jimmy Pots and Pans a nod there. That was Jimmy's 43. It's not. Yeah, it's on both of our lists that it's not on our lists. So I apologize to Jimmy Carbone for
But
not
have to
putting
give,
him on the list. But
but
again,
we have to give him a little shout.
we got to give him a little shout for on the list of bars that are not there anymore. That was a great bar. So many great nights spent in there. Yeah, kudos.
Walking out of there is so difficult because you got to go upstairs to get to street level.
They're not unsteep.
No, they are not.
So,
but
yeah.
I guess
You
it could
almost
be worse.
crawl up the stairs. So
You could be going down them to leave. That would be even worse.
those stairs would be worse down. And they're difficult up, they'd be worse down.
But it'd be more expeditious getting out of there.
Exactly.
But that brings me to my number one. And to me, and I know you've got your favorite, and I can't argue with your number one. I know what it is. We've been there together.
Yep.
And we'll talk about when we get to it. But my number one is really, really hard to beat because they get beers that I'm not sure they're allowed to even bring into the city due to distribution laws.
Sure.
But Torst is one of the most amazing beer bars I've been in. It's one of those bars where I walk in, I look at the beer list. Maybe a third of the breweries I've never heard of. And the breweries I have heard of, the beers they've got up there are mostly, so many one-offs. Drinking something from, I think I told you, Arizona Wilderness that you never heard of before.
And it's news to me that Arizona Wilderness is in New York. So, but,
I don't think it was supposed to be in New York, John. But it was.
I've had some beers at some bars which shall remain nameless, and the beers shall remain nameless. But I know for a fact that they were not supposed to be in New York. So
yeah, there was something I drank in one of my favorite craft beer bars in New Jersey at a beer dinner with Ill Street News that wasn't supposed to be there, so it wasn't advertised.
Yeah. Well, look, as long as you're not paying the bar for it, it's okay, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be part of the price of the beer dinner. The very first beer dinner the Cloverleaf did. I just outed them.
You just outed the L Street News and Cloverleaf on this podcast. There you go. But you didn't say what the beer was, and you know what, folks? In all honesty, the beer was probably legit, so it's fine. We'll leave it alone.
And actually, that beer is now in New Jersey, so they were just ahead of their time.
We're good.
So you're number three.
My three. I'm not going to give them to you in any order because I'm not going to pick one over the others. But the order I'm going to give them to you.
Oh, come on, we know which one's.
Okay, we know.
Leave number one. So the first two he's going to mention are 2 and 3 in no particular order.
2 and 3 in no particular order, and then there's number one above that. So 2 and 3 in no particular order. I'll go with Augers Well first. Augers Well.
Augers Well. I took my brother to Augers Well.
Yeah. And who took you the first time you went to Augers Well?
That would be Johnny. And we went down. We got some Criff dogs. We tried to get into the Speakeasy.
PDT, yep. Right next door.
Then, in it, because you could walk through the
right
phone
next
booth.
Door to Augers Well is Criff Dogs and PDT.
Yes, and then and a little further down the street is a famous album cover.
Yeah, absolutely. Famous album cover and the scene for a famous video.
Yes.
So right down, it's on St. Mark's Place in the East Village. It's just a couple doors down from Avenue A, across the street from Tompkins Square Park, Augers Well. Again, it's right next door to Criff Dogs and PDT, and it's just down the block from where the two opposite brownstone apartment buildings that they use for the cover of a particular Led Zeppelin album.
Physical Graffiti.
Physical Graffiti, yes. Physical
and
Graffiti.
The stoop on the left.
The stoop on the left is where they filmed the video for Waiting on a Friend, Rolling Stones. It's where Mick Jagger was waiting for Keith Richards.
And
anyway,
more importantly, right next to Criff Dogs is a fantastic shop for socks.
Yes. Very good.
Don't forget about that.
Don't forget about your sock shop. Anyway, so Augers Well, great bar. Greg's a really cool guy, and he brings in a bunch of really amazing beer. He curates such a great beer list. Kudos to Dave. Dave, you're Dave. Kudos to Greg. And in Augers Well, it's an amazing bar. I've been going there.
Catching up to John.
Been going there since he opened. Wrote a couple articles about the place. It's just an amazing bar. I love the place.
I gotta agree with him on that.
Absolutely.
Next bar.
My other bar is going to be back over in getting over to the West Village, not quite out of Greenwich Village, the central Greenwich Village, if you will. It's on Bleecker, just off of 7th. That would be Blind Tiger. And again,
I have
Catherine,
not had the privilege to go there yet.
Catherine curates great beer there as well. Amazing, amazing beer, and one of the best, certainly not the best, because the beer is just by far the best. But one of the best things about the bar is the grilled cheese and tomato soup lunch combo that they have there. It's just so good. I can't go there without getting it. Yeah, Blind Tiger on Bleecker, amazing bar. Those are my 2 and 3 in no particular order.
For the number one, which I would never ever argue with you on.
Number one,
it's there.
Number one craft beer bar in New York City, as far as I'm concerned, and it might actually be as far as Dave's concerned, because I already told him that I was going to do that as my number one, and he was like, "Oh, damn it!" So
say it.
It would be Spite and Dival.
Spite and Dival.
Spite and Dival. That would be on Metropolitan Avenue in Williamsburg, right at the foot of Havermeyer.
Right across from Fet Sal.
Right across from Feta Sal, and it's owned by the same group too. The Cow Group owns both, and they own the steakhouse next door to Spite and Dival as well. But Spite and Dival, their beer list is hands down the best beer list in New York City. And you know what, folks, if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong, because I need to go to wherever it is that it has the best beer list.
And the one hint that I will give you, if you go there, there are a whole bunch of boards, dry erase, chalk, whatever, behind them. Read every single one of them.
All chalkboards. No,
there's times we've gone and missed like the board all the way off to the right, or the board in the top left, and miss what may have been the best beer there. These things change frequently.
They have 6 taps and a couple casks, and they're always rotating. That's it. That's all they have. Everything else is bottles.
But or
cans. The bottle list is amazing. So my advice to you, and Dave should agree with this with me, first thing you look at is the tap list or the cask list.
Always.
And pick whatever you want from there. Get your first beer, and then while you're drinking that first beer, read every bottle list menu.
Everything they have there. And then find yourself a nice spot in the backyard.
They're beautiful. It's cool. It's a really cool vibe inside, but out in the back, it's a huge back patio area, all brick laid down, and it's just amazing. And you go out there in the winter too. They have chimeneas burning. It's just a great time. So that's my number one. So there's our top threes. We
spent a couple times there. My 40th birthday, we ended there.
Your 50th birthday.
You didn't. 50th.
50th.
Yes. 50th. Oh, there was 50th.
Your 50th. Yeah, it wasn't your.
God, I'm old. And I ended my night there.
You ended your night there.
You guys went to Augers well afterwards.
We went to Augers well afterwards.
And to quote Gene Lynch, TFTI.
Yep. There you go.
You didn't even tell me you were going.
Actually, I believe I did. You had to catch a train, if I recall. So.
No, you said nothing.
Quick note right here. Somebody with the same last name as you says, "I need an updated beer bar tour of New York City now. Great memories, brother." Does that mean he's your brother?
Is he?
I know. Brian,
he spells it with a Y, so that must be
Brian with a Y is the Beer Samurai's brother. Yes. So.
My mom liked the Y.
There you go.
Not the YMCA or the Y. She liked using because my middle name is Alan, but it's with a Y.
With a Y. There you go. So. All right. Cool. Excellent. Great show tonight. Just as an aside, you haven't asked me about my shirt yet or my cap.
Well, I can't see your shirt because it's been below the level. No, what do you got there?
All you need is right there, and my cap. I don't know if you can tell the cap is.
No, because remember, I'm on my phone, so things are really, really small. So if I put my cheater, the cap's got turned towards the camera there. I can't tell if that's a hop or the night shift.
It's night shift. Yeah, it's night shift.
Which is funny because I was just at the Guild on Sunday, and the Guild in Pawtucket actually pours night shift.
Very nice.
But we got some Becky and I got some lobster rolls at Cousin's Maine Lobster food truck. What's the shirt? I can't read it.
The shirt says the Fermentation District.
Where is that?
That is in Everett, Massachusetts. Night shift is part of the Fermentation District, and also in that is Bone Up Brewing, which is across the street and a block and a half down, and then in between the two There's a side street that runs down along the side of Bone Up, and you take that right-hand turn, that side street, you go down to Short Path Distilling. And
Really?
yeah, and they make amazing spirits in there. Everything from gin to anything you think, rums, anything you think of. And their cocktail program is second to none in there. It's amazing what they do in there.
Might have to be a one-way road trip.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I never go up that way without spending at least several hours in that district, if you will. And when I say several, I mean like 4 or 5 or 6.
It won't be this weekend because apparently this weekend I'm being directed to go to Saco, Maine.
Gotcha. Well, I think I'm actually going to take a ride to Saco, Maine. Yes. Somebody who directed you to go to Saco, Maine. Was that me?
It started off with Mr. How does he pronounce that? Granat?
Granat.
Granat. I had it right the first time. Okay. Yeah, that was Mr. Granat to begin with, because we know he loves his barreled souls.
And then somebody else chimed in that you should go up. But yeah,
there's some guy with a beard and a hat.
Yeah. A rye wine, a barrel-aged rye wine. They're releasing that. I need it. So.
It's going to take me a little over an hour out of my way on Friday, but it might be worth it if it's out on Friday.
If it's out on Friday, we'll have to double check. I'll have to send them an email and find out what's going on. So.
Find out, and if they're releasing it, I may be convinced to go.
There you go. We'll have to check it out, and I might hit a couple of breweries in South Jersey. Not
twist my arm to go to barreled souls.
I'll twist Dave's arm, and I'll pick him up some stuff in South Jersey as well. So
where in South Jersey you go?
I'm actually going to take a ride down to a small brewery. I don't believe they're canning anything, but we're actually going to hit not that brewery. We're actually going to hit Pinelands.
Pinelands. I need to get there. The husband-wife team that owns that place, sweetest people.
Yeah. And we're gonna take a ride over to Oyster Creek too. It's over in Waretown. Tiny little system, but they brew really good beer. So we're gonna take a ride over there. So
when did they open?
A while ago, actually, been about a few years.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, a small system. But in any event, that's our weekend. So anywho, well, let's talk about next week's show. We're gonna have our Thanksgiving kickoff show. Can't forget that.
Now, since it's a Wednesday, if everyone everyone knows what the Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving is. Everyone's home. Everyone from high school. You all hit the local bars, and it is nicknamed Blackout Wednesday.
Right. Or amateur night, but that's besides the point.
Awesome. It's amateur night, yes. This year will change things a little bit, but
yeah, well, or as somebody else that has mentioned, homecoming night out.
Yes.
That's another one. So, but in any event, we're going to kick off Thanksgiving, and that night we're going to kick off that night with a show at 5:30 for you next Wednesday, and we'll discuss a bunch of holiday beers too. We're going to talk about that, and my favorite one, which I will be drinking on the show. And
we all know.
I know, Sierra Nevada Celebration, but anyway.
And I actually stumbled across my favorite today.
Did you? Awesome.
I didn't think I'd be able to find it, but I'll let you know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, what it is. All right, folks, and we actually start guests next week too. So we
do.
Yeah, we do. We start guests next week. So tune in to Facebook and find out.
I hope it's someone cool.
Tune into our website and social media next Monday. We announce every Monday we'll announce who the guest is going to be on the show. But we already know who the guest is going to be on the show.
We're not saying.
We're not saying until next week. So
not yet.
There you go.
Just in case they have a dental appointment.
There you go. Not a word. Anyway. All right, folks. That'll wrap up the show for today. I want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. So,
yes.
Don't forget to visit our website, www.lageroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room.
We have a YouTube channel?
We have a YouTube channel. We're broadcasting live tonight on the YouTube channel as well as Facebook. And all of them are at The Lager. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at 5:30. And for those of you that want to just listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and Stitcher. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or all of those feeds. You'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us, folks, and have a great weekend. We will talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye, folks. Cheers.
They found the face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake robe. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he shit out of luck. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy's eating corned beef in the back of a Ford Pinto. You better run, you better go, 'cause you're messing with a big toe.